Hello students, welcome back to our Bridge course online classes. In the previous video, we have discussed the meaning of science, branches of science, the meaning of physics, and the various branches of physics in detail, and also we have discussed in briefly the major discoveries in the field of physics. In this video, we will discuss those major discoveries in detail. So let us move to the discoveries. The main discovery was done by the scientist Albert Einstein. So dear students, I hope you are seeing the picture of the scientist Albert Einstein. The major discovery of Albert Einstein was the theory of relativity. He discovered a photon, which was a tiny packet of energy of an electromagnetic radiation. Albert Einstein told us that the light is having particle nature and it consists of tiny particles called as photons, which are also known as energy packets. This concept was originated in Albert Einstein's explanation of photoelectric effect. So it means that photoelectric effect tells us that the light is a form of energy. Specifically, it is a particle nature exhibiting. He also discussed that the presence of discrete energy packets during the transmission of light. Albert Einstein was very famous for his general and special theory of relativity, and the famous equation given by Albert Einstein was E is equals to mc squared. Now let us move to the next discovery that was done by the scientist J.J. Thomson. J.J. Thomson was an English physicist and Nobel laureate in physics. The major discovery of J.J. Thomson was the discovery of electron, which was the main elementary particle of the atom. And also it was the first subatomic particle to be discovered, which was done by J.J. Thomson. J.J. Thomson managed to show that cathode rays were composed of negatively charged particles, which were electrons, in which he calculated and inferred might have smaller bodies than atoms and substantial charge mass ratio. He was also credited for finding first evidence for the existence of isotopes for stable elements. So, the J.J. Thomson scientist was famous for two discoveries. Those are, first one is the discovery of a negative particle, that was electron, and second discovery was the existence of isotopes for the stable elements. So the next scientist majorly discovered something in the field of physics was Ernst Rutherford. Students, you can see the picture of Rutherford. He was called as the father of nuclear physics because he was the first person to propose the atomic model. He told that an atom comprises of small charged nucleus surrounded by an empty space and are circled by tiny electrons, which later became known as Rutherford model. So dear students, Rutherford model was the one of the famous model which was proposed by Ernst Rutherford as an atomic model. He is credited with the discovery of protons and hypothesized the existence of neutron. And hence, Rutherford was famous for the discovery of protons and as well as for his atomic model. The next major discovery was done by John Dalton. John Dalton's major contribution was his theory on atoms, which consists of following five parts. The first point was Matter was made of tiny particles known as atoms. Atoms are indivisible and indestructible. Atoms of a given element are identical in shape, mass, and chemical properties. In a chemical reaction, atoms separate, combine, and rearrange. And the last one was the Dalton made a lot of discoveries based on his observations. The next important scientist in the field of physics was James Chadwick. James Chadwick was a British physicist. He was awarded Nobel Prize in the year 1935 for the discovery of the neutron. Bombarding elements with neutron can result in the penetration and splitting of nuclei, generating an enormous amount of energy. This way, Chadwick's findings were pivotal to the discovery of nuclear fission and ultimately the development of atomic bomb. James Chadwick was well known for the discovery of neutron and as well as the discovery of nuclear fission, which was the basic for the generation of nuclear power. The next scientist is Isaac Newton. Dear students, I hope already you are aware that Isaac Newton's discovery is credited a launch pad for the future developments in science. His most noteworthy innovations were as follows. Newton's laws were a famous field of classical mechanics. Students, you already know the three Newton's laws of motion. The classical mechanics was mainly designed on the three Newton's laws. He was also well known for the discovery of gravitational force, which gives us the ability to predict the movement of heavenly bodies. His discovery of the calculus gave us an important mathematical tool aiding the precise analytical treatment of the physical world. Newton was famous for the discovery of Newton's laws of motion, gravitational force, and the discovery of calculus. Isaac Newton is one of the greatest mathematicians and physicists of all the time, and his inventions and discoveries widened the reach of human thoughts. Charles Augustin de Coulomb is the best known for what now is known as Coulomb's law, which explains the electrostatic repulsion and attraction. He formulated this law to study the law of electrostatic repulsion put forward by the English scientist Joseph Priestley. He also extensively worked on the friction of machinery, the elasticity of metal and silk fibers. The SI unit of electric charge is Coulomb is named after this scientist. The Coulomb's law, which tells the force of attraction and repulsion between the two charges, which was given by the scientist Charles Augustin de Coulomb. The next scientist comes here is George Simon Ohm. Students, I hope already you have heard the name Ohm. George Simon Ohm was a German physicist discovered the law named after him, known as Ohm's law, which states that the current flowing a conductor is directly proportional to its voltage and inversely proportional to its resistance. The SI unit of resistance is known as ohm, which was named after him. Now let us move to the next discovery done by the scientist Michael Faraday. Faraday was a man devoted to discovery through experimentation. He was famous for never giving up on ideas that came from scientific institution. When he thought of an idea, he would keep experimenting through multiple failures until he got what was expected. Below is the list of few noteworthy discoveries of Michael Faraday. The discovery of electromagnetic induction was done by Michael Faraday. Discovery of benzene was done by Michael Faraday. He also discovered laws of electrolysis. Gas liquefaction and refrigeration was discovered by Michael Faraday. Michael Faraday is one of the revered scientists of all the time. Here comes Thomas Edison. Thomas Edison made a lot of key inventions and discoveries. Here we have listed a few noteworthy ones. He invented the carbon rheostat. He discovered incandescent light. He invented the motion picture camera. He also invented fluorescent electric lamp. He discovered thermionic emission. Edison has been described as America's greatest inventor. He developed many devices in the field like mass communication and electric power generation. He was one of the pioneers in applying the principle of organized science and teamwork to the process of invention, working with many researchers and employees. Henri Becquerel was a French scientist best known for his work on radioactivity, for which he won a Nobel Prize. As a result, the SI unit of radioactivity, becquerel, is named after him. Marie Curie was a chemist who conducted pioneering research on radioactivity. She was the first woman to win a Nobel Prize. She is most famous for the discovery of elements polonium and radium. She gave her life in the discovery of radioactivity. She died due to the effects of radioactivity. Max Planck. He was a German physicist. He is best known for his proposition of quantum theory of energy, for which he was awarded the Nobel Prize. His work contributed significantly to the atomic and subatomic processes. He told us that the light is a particle in nature. Heinrich Rudolf Hertz. During his work on electromagnetism, Heinrich reported another important phenomenon known as the photoelectric effect. He noticed that UV rays made the metal lose charges faster than otherwise, which led him to publish his findings in the journal Annalen de Physique. He did not investigate this effect further. Later in 1905, Albert Einstein proposed that light came in discrete packets of energy known as the photons. This discovery led to the development of quantum mechanics. Hertz was the base for the development of quantum mechanics. Wilhelm Conrad Röntgen. Wilhelm Röntgen a German physicist, discovered and detected electromagnetic radiation in a wavelength range known as the X-rays. This discovery earned him a Nobel Prize in Physics. Niels Bohr. As discussed before, Rutherford described an atom as consisting of a positive center mass surrounded by orbiting electrons. Niels Bohr suspected that electrons revolve in quantized orbits. Having suspected this, Bohr worked on Rutherford's model and proved that particles could not occupy just an energy level. Enrico Fermi. He was an Italian-American physicist who created the world's first nuclear reactor. He is widely known as the architect of the nuclear age and the architect of the atomic bomb. He won a Nobel Prize in Physics for his work on induced radioactivity by neutron bombardment. He also made significant contributions in the field of quantum theory, statistical mechanics, and nuclear and particle physics. Dear students, these are the major discoveries in the field of physics. In the next video, we will discuss the continued part of the bridge course. Thank you.